For weeks, I had noticed subtle changes in her behavior, little things that I initially brushed off as stress or fatigue. A text left unread, a call returned late, with a faint perfume lingering on her clothes that I didn't recognize. But deep down, a small voice kept whispering that something wasn't right. I told myself I was overthinking, that trust had to be unconditional, that love didn't operate on suspicion. Yet, the gnawing feeling persisted, and by the time that Thursday came around, I had reached a quiet, internal understanding. I needed to be aware, vigilant, even if it meant confronting uncomfortable truths. That afternoon, she left for what she said was a casual lunch with an old friend. I watched her walk out with a smile on her face, waving casually, as if she had no idea the unease she had stirred within me. There was a confidence in her gait, a lightness in her steps that didn't match the weight of the relationship we had built over the last 4 years. I tried to tell myself it was nothing, that maybe I was imagining the intensity behind every glance, every laugh she shared online. But the messages that trickled through my phone in those hours told a different story. Little glimpses that hinted at laughter shared more intimately than friendship allowed. Inside jokes and moments I was never part of. I didn't confront her immediately. I waited patient, because confrontation without clarity would have made me look desperate or insecure, the exact opposite of what I wanted her to feel. I spent the afternoon in quiet observation, watching patterns, noting timing, reconstructing moments that now seemed suspicious in hindsight. Every notification, every unseen message, every soft ping became a potential clue, a breadcrumb leading me to a truth I was already preparing myself to accept. By late afternoon, she returned. The door opened and she waltzed in, smiling as though the world had been nothing but cheerful in her absence. Her hair perfectly arranged, her perfume lingering in the hall, a casual sway in her step. Everything screamed self-assurance, almost audacious in its calmness. She looked directly at me, her eyes sparkling, as if she knew I had been waiting, as if she understood the effect her presence could have. And yet, beneath that polished exterior, there was a subtle tension I noticed instantly. Confidence and guilt rarely coexist so seamlessly. I greeted her with a neutral smile, measured words that betrayed nothing. "Welcome back," I said lightly, my voice calm, steady. She responded with an easy laugh, brushing past me in the kitchen, talking about her friend and the lunch they shared. Every detail she offered seemed rehearsed, carefully curated to project normalcy, to imply innocence. I nodded along, absorbing each word with the quiet precision of someone who had been awake to the undercurrents all afternoon. As the conversation progressed, I noticed the small gestures, the way she touched her phone slightly too often, the subtle hesitation when recounting her movements, the faint flush on her cheeks when she realized I was watching closely. My mind cataloged everything, assembling patterns into clarity. I wasn't angry yet, not in a moment of emotional eruption, but I was fully alert. Every detail mattered. And then it came, the moment that would confirm everything my instincts had feared. She mentioned, almost casually, the waiter at the restaurant who had noticed them laughing at something on her phone, as if it were insignificant, harmless. But my mind replayed the pieces, the timing, the subtle cues. That smile she flashed when she spoke, the way her voice carried a hint of excitement that didn't belong to friendship. It all fell into place. My heartbeat didn't spike, but aligned with new rhythm, a cold, deliberate awareness. I was no longer the man unsure of what was happening. I now held the quiet, unspoken knowledge of her betrayal. I didn't act immediately. I waited for the right moment, the perfect timing where impact and clarity could coexist. The evening unfolded, mundane in appearance, but charged with the tension I carried silently. Dinner was ordinary, polite, the laughter around us gentle and unassuming, unaware of the silent storm building at our table. Every bite she took, every sip she enjoyed, every casual glance toward her phone was a thread in the web I had meticulously woven in my mind. By the time dessert arrived, I was ready. I placed my napkin neatly beside my plate, leaned back slightly, and looked at her with the calm precision of someone who knew exactly what was coming. The air between us was thick, unspoken understanding suspended in invisible lines of tension. She smiled, still confident, unaware that the narrative she constructed for herself was about to unravel. I spoke simply, almost quietly, a voice measured but impossible to ignore. "I saw your messages this afternoon." Her smile faltered, her confident facade cracking slightly as she processed the weight of my words. The room felt heavier, the ambient chatter fading into the background. Every eye didn't turn toward us, but the space around us seemed to contract, the invisible pressure of truth settling like a stone between us.